Hey everyone, Tony here again. Wanted to give you my daily recap, Monday through Friday. And wanted to start off with coronavirus. This thing is continuing, and we have, I wonder if we can start charting this stuff on a trading view. But basically, we have 90,000 cases, 3,000 confirmed dead. That's horrible. Recovered 45,000. That's pretty good for my opinion. So it doesn't look. It, it's I don't know. It's a little worrisome for sure. In the U.S., it's starting to skyrocket. It's at least doubled in the last 4 days, give or take. If we click on the U.S., yeah, you can see that it's starting to get up there. So yeah, so last week when I reported, I think we had 60, give or take. Now we have quite a few. And now we have 8 people confirmed dead. It's terrible. It looks like that's isolated to Washington. And 10 people have successfully recovered. Hopefully that is true. So we have to see how many here are. So yeah, it looks like there's a lot of. It looks like it's California and Washington for the most part, but it's kind of scattered. I mean, you can see here there's 2 in Rhode Island. I know that last time I checked, there's in Massachusetts. It's down in all the way down in Hillsborough, Florida, Sarasota, Florida, Manatee, Florida. So yeah, it's basically all 4 corners of the U.S. of the continental U.S. has been hit, and now, unfortunately, it's a matter of spreading at this point. It sucks, and I wish there's something better to say about that, but hopefully, I mean, we'll see. My only advice is, take your vitamin C, take your zinc, get a full night's sleep, avoid drinking. Basically, take as much as you can that'll boost your immune system. And yeah, it's getting a little scary. Some people say it's only as bad as a bad flu. But man, when you have so many people dying, I mean, I don't know what the stats are on a regular flu, but hey, I mean, got to keep an eye out. So because of that, obviously the market has been kind of tanking the last couple of days. Now, I just checked, and yeah, the market rallied quite a bit with some. Apparently, there's been some, and I apologize because today I've been all over the place, so I haven't spent too much time looking at the markets. But apparently, there's some rumor that there's going to be a central bank boosting, I guess. Let me see if I can see what I read here. So the Washington Post writes, the U.S. market surge with all 3 indices up more than 4%, fueled by hope central bank will help with coronavirus fallout. So yeah, so this is all just hope. I don't know if the Fed actually came out and said something. So again, I apologize for not being completely up to date before doing this video. Just wanted to put it up there. Here it says Trump says he's asked drug makers to speed up coronavirus vaccine. Yeah, I mean, a little scary. So hopefully we can get this all resolved sooner than later. To get a better picture, I'm going to close up Market Watch. So before I do that, it says here the Dow surged to 1,300 points and logs best performance gain in 11 years. So yeah, the hopes that central banks can dull coronavirus pains. This hope part is what kind of concerns me, because hope is nothing for me. So we'll see. You can see here the heat map for the stocks is mostly green based on this news. But once again, I can guarantee you that most of these percentage gainers are from biotech and pharma companies. And sure enough, biologics, Carrera Farm, medical instruments, biotechnology, biotechnology, biotechnology. Yeah, so as expected, that's where it goes down to. Now, I'm going to give all of you a kind of a what I consider to be a good idea into potential stocks. So with this recent sell-off, um, I want to see who's the insider that's buying. So you can actually just come up here on Finviz, click on Insider, and this will give you some good stocks to look at because with this sell-off in the last couple of days, these people, so the ones highlighted here in green, are buying. So those are the people that I personally like to focus on, those companies, because they have faith in their company and their stock. So that gives me a big vote of confidence here. Sorry, I got distracted by this guy. Yeah, so that just just gives you some ideas of what to look at. These people are some of them are in the medical instrument world, but well, here Etsy has been selling. HQI, which is staffing and outsources, they've been buying. Medical supplies, investment brokerage, Morgan Stanley, Orion Engineered. So yeah, that gives you like a pretty good idea of where you can get some new ideas into stocks or just kind of explore. I mean, that's kind of what I do. I just go around and I start clicking around and I start finding or try to find potential stocks or potential investments that they may work for me. So yeah, I thought that would be interesting. And so yeah, the way I see it is, if the market is tanking, you want to see where the smart money is buying into, right? So the insiders are, for me, one of the biggest keys. So closing this, and I'm going to basically continue from where I left off on Friday. So on Friday, I gave a rather, really shouldn't have. It was kind of like a silly guesstimate here. So which so far has happened. So kind of good. But basically what I was saying was we had this pretty steep sell-off here. And if we were to bounce, so we had a horizontal and we had a 50% level right here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So we came all the way down here, tested the horizontal and the 50% level, both held up. And then what I was saying was that if we were able to bounce and get into this 38.2 retracement from the swing high up here, 33.90, what is it? Yeah, 33.97 down to let me just leave that where it was. I don't know why it's not drawn right, but from this swing high to this swing low, the 38.2 would be right here at 3,071, give or take. And my theory, it's not a theory, it's just what I've seen. I mean, from my experience, when you have a sell-off like that, usually it rebounds to that 38.2, sometimes as high as a 61.8. But usually the 38.2 is a good test. And then if it breaks down, usually you're going to see it dump all the way down to the this ABCD pattern, which happens to line up nicely with this trend line, and also bumping into the 786 of the previous swing low, swing high here. Let's see if I can get that picture. So yeah, so the swing low, swing high, the 78.6 happens to line up here. If you do the trend extension Fibonacci, it was giving me a result here at a 1, which is basically there's a lot of confluence there. Now, is that going to happen? No, I don't know. But based on my experience, it happens a lot. So that was just an idea. So it's happening kind of quickly. So we'll see in the next couple of days what happens there. But yeah, you don't want that to happen because that's pretty, nobody wants to see the market crash that bad, um, but if it does, that would be a good opportunity to, in my opinion, you should consider buying, because that is for it to break that trend line, I mean, that would be pretty extremely bearish. So I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. I don't know what is going to happen or what's not going to happen, but at least that to me looks like historical support. That would be an exhaustive move of that ABCD. And then we also have the 78.6, which is a nice, basically everything when it comes to support would be in effect here. But let's see what happens. So I don't know why I drew this little like, oh, I think that's when I was doing the that example actually last week, maybe on Friday. So yeah, so your target would have been hit. It would have been some money there. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I wanted to dive into. I guess we can look at some stocks really quick, but the S&P 500 is really giving us the big picture of all the stocks. So, I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, everything is so correlated right now that it's hard to just pick one stock. I think they're all going to be moving very similar, and we can check that out. But yeah, to finalize the S&P 500. If we can't hold these levels and go above, I would really expect a test all the way back down here to the to this trend line. So somewhere as low as the 2,500 range. You know, not rooting for that, but it's possible if the bearishness continues. So we're looking at if coronavirus news gets worse and worse, there's more cases in the U.S., the central bank doesn't help out, all that stuff. If all that stuff compounds into just negative news, then I can see that being tested down here. But if there's good news, if the central bank is going to actually help out in whatever way they're going to bail out who knows who, and Trump does his magic and he gets all of these drug makers to expedite a vaccine, which, I mean, I don't see why that wouldn't be the case, period. I mean, as a drug manufacturer, I think it's in your best interest to do that, right? But hey, if you can push it a little bit harder, then why not? So if he does that, I mean, not if he does that, if the market all behaves the way it should, then hopefully we'll hit new highs. It's just right now everything is so up in the air that anything other than everything is just more speculation than what the markets already are. So I don't like to personally trade in this kind of environment. And if you do, keep your risks tight. But all this volatility is what really makes money. So it just depends on how you trade, how you are, your plan. Always consult a financial advisor, the usual. And but yeah, let's look at some stocks, just get a broader picture of what's going on. So let's look at Apple. So on Apple, pretty much the same action. So we had a drop, and then we have a rebound. In this case, we can see that it tested the 200 EMA on the daily. So here we have a nice little, hopefully this holds up, this 38.2. That's very nice support right there. And right now it just bounced up to what I suspect is a sort of horizontal area. And we shall see if you draw a Fibonacci on here from this swing high, give or take here, to a swing low down here. We're actually in a shorting zone. And we have some resistance here now. The 50 EMA and the 20 EMA may act as resistance there. So we'll see what happens. If we get great news, we just break past that. Right now, it looks like the market is a little hesitant. It's just kind of, it rallied with all this relatively good news, but we'll see. I think the real catalyst is going to be, hey, we found a vaccine for coronavirus, and that's what it is. I'm going to draw a 45 here just to kind of get a better picture in the future. Let's try the Goog alphabet. Yeah, everything's pretty much acting in the way that I expect. It's just everything is moving in tandem. So same. I mean, it's almost identical. It's kind of eerie. Basically, the 200 EMAs down here, 50 and 20 EMAs are up there. Facebook. I guess we'll look at the FAANG stocks, right? This one broke below the 200 exponential. And so this one looks a little more gloomy in my eyes. Let's take a look at, what's the other one? Oh, Netflix. Actually, I don't think I ever talked about Netflix. So Netflix looks a little stronger on the 200, on the daily. We did have a break, but I haven't done the percentages, but it looks quite a bit stronger. It didn't actually even get to test the 50 EMA, so it's looking pretty strong. I'm surprised. You draw this Fibonacci, you can see that it's actually above, not a Fibonacci, it's trend line. So just a trend line from swing low, 45 degree, and that gives us like a pretty, pretty healthy idea of a healthy uptrend. Keep repeating myself. Sorry about that. And yeah, as long as we can keep above this, it's looking strong. So Netflix looks pretty solid. Let's see, Amazon. Amazon looks a little bit on the kind of like Facebook and Goog. Very similar, testing the 200 EMA, broke below it, but was able to rally and is currently at resistance on the 50 EMA. So yeah, we have to see what is going on here. And whenever you see me having drawn these little charts, that means that I spoke about it. So if you look back on the videos, you'll see that if you look at Amazon or Facebook or whatever, you'll see that you'll get more on the macro side, like on the monthly, weekly, daily. Right now, I'm just obviously going really quick through all of them. And then lastly, I guess we can look at Bitcoin. Either the futures or, no, let's start off with the futures. So the CME futures. And then kind of interesting. So we did have the rally. And yeah, a lot of people say that Bitcoin is not correlated with the markets. I think they are. Basically, for me, what's the big test? If the S&P 500 crashes or the market crashes, does this crash as well? Same with gold. And most of the time, is it kind of, yeah. So it's kind of hard to say that it's a hedge or whatever you want to call it. It's pretty much acting in accordance. And funny enough, almost like Facebook and the Googs, it's playing between that 200 and that 50 EMA. So kind of interesting little fact there. But yeah, that's basically it. Let me see just BTC USD on, I guess we can put Bitstamp, which is the oldest that I know of. Yeah, pretty much the same levels there. Playing between horizontals and EMAs and basically all support resistance levels here. It's probably the 38.2. Yeah, geez, almost exactly. And then let's draw one from here down here. So yeah, we have to see how this keeps pushing forward. Kind of at a yeah, it's gonna be. We just have to see what happens. So if the market keeps rallying, obviously we're going to test at 38.2. It looks like it's on its way to that I mean, I think really the 9,000 level is kind of key, between 9,000 and 9,200. That to me is pretty, breaking above that would be bullish. But there, again, there's so much fundamental things going on, news related events, that it's hard. Technical analysis, as much as I love it, it's just, the reality is that any kind of sneeze in news or whatever is going to affect the prices beyond what technical analysis can predict. And that's all it is. It's just probabilities and or predictions, whatever you want to call it. It's really more probabilities. And yeah, so I guess that's basically it. Any more on this episode, I guess, would be too much, because I think the greater markets are dictating what's going on here. And but it's always fun to see where we are and where we may go. But I think we just got to keep an eye on the S&P and just the news and see what happens, what's going on. I think that's going to be key there. So yeah, ending there. If you have any questions, please send me a comment or a message. And if you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share it with somebody you think will appreciate the video. And that's basically it. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.